Hey man, let's get straight into the video, man. No intro needed. We are reacting to Alex Hoops. Jimmy Buckets broke the Milwaukee Bucks. Nah, he did more than broke them. He did a lot more than that. He broke them, stepped on them, chewed on them, spit on them. He did every single disrespectful thing in the book. Hit me buckets. Said Milwaukee Bucks. What? First round goodbyes, man. That's what the business is.
He just pulled off one of the biggest upsets in NBA history.
Facts. And what Giannis say? This season was not a failure. And some of y'all actually bought that. Some of y'all actually ate all that up, man. Pause. But some of y'all just took that and ran with it. Oh, Giannis said this season is not a failure. It must be true. Negative. It was very much so a failure. And if you think it wasn't, then you have some problems. That's all I'm going to say.
Bucks were being hailed as the championship favorites heading into this postseason after putting together some of the longest win streaks in the NBA this season, and Giannis having another year as an MVP finalist. But what people failed to take into account coming into this Heat versus Bucks matchup is that Jimmy Butler was going to have literally one of the greatest playoff series we've ever seen. And that
more to come too.
On one of the wildest hot shooting streaks I've seen from a team in a playoff series. None of that is an exaggeration. Jimmy averaged 37.6 points, 6 rebounds, 4.8 assists, and 1.8 steals per game.
Yo, wait, you see the picture of the phone, my boy.
1% true shooting.
Y'all see that? 37.6. This is LeBron James S. Not gonna lie to you, bro. Jimmy Buckets, he might get his jersey hanged up in the rafters after this one. After his career is up, he might get his jersey hanged up in the rafters. Right to D-Wade, right with Alonzo Mourning, all those guys, LeBron, all those guys, bro. His jersey going up with them boys. I don't care if you don't win a chip, it's going up. Facts, bro. That's how I feel about it. Cause, bro, the way he did in the bubble, plus what he's doing right now, he's going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I got the Miami Heat being the Knicks, and I want to say 6 or 7. I want to go 6 actually. I'm gonna go 6. But yo, he's that guy. He's that guy, bro. And for all those guys who gave up on him, fools, idiots. T-Wolves, idiots. Sixers, idiots. Chicago Bulls, he was a young Jimmy Butler. He wasn't the same Jimmy Butler as he is now, but y'all should have seen that coming. Idiots.
He went from shooting 35% from 3 during the regular season on 1.6 attempts per game to shooting 44.4% from 3 on 5.4 attempts per game in the playoffs.
Jimmy.
This was an unprecedented leap in efficiency.
That's what needs to happen every single playoffs.
Is that it wasn't just
every guy should level their skill level at least 2 notches. At least 2 notches in the playoffs, bro. You can't be the same guy in the regular season and the playoffs, bro. You gotta be different in the playoffs because you gotta mean business. You gotta mean business. Not a lot of guys get here. Not a lot of teams get here. A good amount. But not a lot of teams get here, and especially not a lot of teams go far in the playoffs, man. You gotta rise your level of talent in the playoffs, man. And that's what Jimmy Butler has done for us. He has done for the Heat. Man, it's gonna be a good series, dog.
Him, who
my last time pausing the video.
The shooter's touch in the playoffs.
Maybe
it was their entire roster. Miami went from being the 4th worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA during the regular season with 34.4%. to now leading the playoffs in 3-point percentage with 45%. That's not a typo. I didn't misspeak. You can fact check this. They took a nearly 11% in 3-point efficiency during the playoffs. Right now, the narrative seems to be harping on the idea that the Bucks choked or they failed to play at the level that was expected of them, which is true. But I'd rather focus on how Miami executed nearly perfectly to beat the team that seemed to be considered the favorites to win it all heading into the postseason. First things first, we got to talk about drop coverage. It's well known that the Bucks pretty much exclusively defended pick and rolls with Brook Lopez in drop coverage. This pretty much allowed Miami to get into completely uncontested space to unload the clip from mid-range. Not only was Miami able to leverage the drop coverage and open looks from mid-range though, but they also turned it into wide open threes.
Wide open.
Look at this play for example. Kevin Love
Wide
sets
open.
the screen.
But you gotta knock them down though. The Heat are not a good 3-point shooting team, so I understand the drop coverage. I understand it. I get it. But once they start knocking those 3 balls down and those middies, oh, you gotta put a hand up, my boy. You gotta be like these all over the place.
And Jimmy takes his dribble before picking it up. And
Look at
Drew
this.
is actively going under the screen despite the fact that A, Jimmy either has to pass it or shoot it now, and B, he had been knocking down his threes in the series up to this point. So you'd think that Drew would probably try to close out and make sure that he doesn't give up an easy 3, but Jimmy doesn't hesitate and he makes him pay.
I actually did hesitate a
Both
little bit.
Gabe Vincent and Duncan Robinson absolutely abused drop coverage to get good looks, coming off of screens in the pick and roll to either get a good look.
They gotta make it though.
Or in the mid range. And
They
since
dared
I'm
him to
bringing up
make it.
Duncan Robinson, I just want you to know that he shot 74% from 3 over the course of the entire
What?
series. And he played in all 5 games. He
That's
got
insane.
20 minutes a night and he was attempting 4 threes a game.
That's
It was
crazy.
some of the most ridiculous 3-point shooting I've ever seen. The whole idea of drop coverage is that you live with teams shooting poorly from mid-range and you assume that they're not going to shoot absolutely lights out from 3. The Bucks didn't do that. The Heat shot 49.2% from mid-range and 45% from 3. That is wildly above average efficiency from both of those areas. More specifically in the context of pick and rolls, ball handlers shot 41.3% from 3 coming off of screens in the pick and roll. At a certain point, Milwaukee should have realized that they needed to stop dropping, but that adjustment never came. Miami just kept on lighting them up.
See, making a shot like these is like you can't do nothing about that.
Stop dropping, but that adjustment never.
That's a bad foul. Kudos to Bam for allowing him to commit the foul, but if you're making shots like this, bro, you can't blame the Bucks. But this is not the playoffs. This is like I think a regular season.
Came.
Oh no, that's the playoffs. My bad.
Miami just
Sure,
kept
man.
on lighting them up. Now I want to talk about Bam Adebayo for a second because he probably wasn't quite where you'd want him to be on the offensive end in terms of his production.
He never
but I want to
is,
single
man.
out what he was doing when defending Giannis in the fourth quarter of Game 5. He was denying Giannis the opportunity to get into the paint, and when Giannis would try to go up for shots, Bam would immediately have hands up to shut it down, forcing the pass out here, resulting in Giannis eventually settling for a pull-up mid-range jumper. When Giannis was getting into the paint, Bam was consistently disrupting his shots or forcing misses, and I'd imagine it resulted in Giannis slowly losing confidence in getting to the rim, especially because when he was getting to the line during Game 5, he was really struggling to hit his free throws. So instead of getting into the paint and worrying about contact, he would just end up settling for mid-range looks more and more as the quarter progressed. This play right here was one of the most important defensive possessions of the night, with the Bucks getting into this empty corner pick and roll between Giannis and Drew, and Giannis is going to slip the screen to go up for the lob. Bam is guarding both Drew and Giannis, but Bam's going to be able to rise up.
Yo, hezzy
insanely
mindset.
high
Appreciate that
to
follow, my
tip
boy.
the lob pass away, and it's going to go off of Giannis out of bounds and give the Heat the ball. He did struggle on the offensive end at times during this series, but he still hit some timely mid-range shots, and he showed up big when it mattered, and without his defense on Giannis, they might have not been able to close it out in 5 games like they did. Of course, this series looks a lot different if Jimmy Butler didn't turn into prime Michael Jordan like he did. Jimmy Butler is a special type of player because
Facts,
he's one of
man.
the few guys that when he
Facts.
decides he's going to win you a game,
He gonna
or in
do
this
it.
case, an entire series,
He gonna do it.
and there's not that much that you can do to stop him.
He almost did it against my Celtics last year, man. But my Celtics had that thing on the chokehold. We was not letting loose. We was not letting loose, bro. But he had a chance to win the game. He had a chance. He had it. My Celtics took care of business. Hope to see you soon. Very soon, Jimmy.
And it's not like he was doing it against terrible defenders or a bad defense. He was doing this against Drew Holiday and the Milwaukee Bucks. Drew Holiday is widely considered to be one of the best point of attack defenders in the league, and the Bucks had one of the best defenses in the NBA this year. He helped fuel their offense, which seemed to outsmart the Bucks at basically every turn and every pivotal moment, but it was especially noticeable in the fourth quarter. They were constantly driving and kicking to manipulate Milwaukee's defense to force mismatches and try to create good looks, with Kevin Love driving on Lopez after the closeout,
Kick out.
which forces Portis to help in the middle, but that opens up Martin on the wing. Lopez
That's
makes the
simple
rotation,
basketball
but once
IQ.
again, Martin's able to attack the closeout.
Kick
It
back
opens up
out.
Love again above the break to get off an open catch and shoot three. The Heat had been feasting on drop coverage all night, so Lopez is going to be playing to the level of the screen here, meaning that when Jimmy comes off of the screen to drive, Holiday's going to have to be the one to step up and guard him. But that opens up an easy pass to the corner, leading to an easy three. This Horns action is probably one of the best plays of the entire series, with Robinson coming to screen for Lowry to drive, which flows into Robinson getting a flare screen from Kevin Love. Lowry reverses the ball to Bam, who initiates the DHO with Robinson, but when the defense traps against him, he splits the pass
Good
to
bounce
Bam on the
pass.
short roll.
Kick back out, K-Love.
This is going to cause Giannis to rotate onto Bam, but Bam just pitches it out to Love for an easy shot.
That's just good basketball,
They kept
man.
running
Great
offense
basketball,
for Jimmy
actually.
specifically, putting him in a position to punish the drop here coming off of the screen from Bam, knocking down the jumper over Lopez. Then on this possession, they load up in the corner, using Bam as the primary ball handler, and having Strus and Love set double screens for Jimmy to make the baseline cut. Now running the offense through Bam here actually accomplishes a really important task, and that's drawing Brook Lopez out of the paint to open things up down low so they can run off-ball actions in order to get the ball into Jimmy's hands. And with Lopez pulled up to guard Bam, he just threads the pass to Jimmy for the finish.
We seen that, Strus.
Again, they're letting Bam initiate the offense, with Love setting this down screen for Jimmy to curl off towards the paint, and he gets the pass to immediately nail the floater over top of Drew Holiday. They took things up a notch here with a down screen from Love into a ghost flare by Jimmy for Strus, which then blends into this really nice inverted pick and roll between Jimmy and Bam, and when the Bucks trap, it leaves Jimmy in an empty paint to cash in and get the and one.
It was not empty.
And then to top it all
Good.
off, they run a simple pin
putback.
down for Jimmy in the corner, and with Drew going under the screen like
No,
I
we're not
talked
put
about
back. We're
earlier,
put up.
Jimmy can get the ball and settle in before pulling the three. This whole sequence of offense got Miami all the momentum in the world to get them in a position to win the game. Milwaukee had all the chances to put the game away, but horrible shot selection, refusal by Mike Budenholzer to make adjustments that might help slow down Jimmy,
True.
like sending doubles at him and forcing other guys to make plays, or playing Giannis at the 5 and switching out of the drop.
Or allowing Giannis to guard Jimmy. He was running from the smoke. Like if you have Giannis, you got, bro, go get Jimmy. Go get Jimmy. Cause Jimmy Butler, he's pointing at Drew Holiday. He's screaming at Drew Holiday, can't guard him. He dropped, 50 on him in game 4. Game 5, he got 42. Yo, Giannis, handle that, please. But Giannis ain't want no part of it, just like he ain't want no part of Kevin Durant like 2 years prior. It's insane. It's insane. Or was that 1 year prior? That was last year. Right? Yeah, last year.
Resulted in probably one of the most...
No, well, that was 2 years prior when the Nets and the Bucks went at it. That was 2 years prior.
Most embarrassing series losses I've seen in a really long time. The Heat deserve a ton of credit, and the takeaway
gotta guard
from
the
this
best player,
series should
man. The
not
best
be
player
that
gotta guard the best
Milwaukee
player,
beat
bro, when it come down
themselves
to
and
it.
Miami just somehow got lucky. Miami smelled blood in the water
Or
and they
double team.
seized the opportunity without hesitation. They rode one of the hottest shooting streaks I've seen from a team in a playoff series. They were a struggling three-point shooting team all season, but then they managed to get hot right at the most important time. Even if they do come back down to earth in terms of their perimeter shooting, they're still going to be close to an average three-point shooting team rather than one of the worst in the league like they were during the regular season. But if they can somehow manage to continue shooting 45% from three for the entirety of the playoffs, and Jimmy Butler continues to play like Michael Jordan, then I genuinely don't know how anyone's going to be able to do that. Huge thank you to all of my patrons for helping make these videos possible. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see more like this, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. That's the easiest way to support me and help me continue making content.
Great
If you want to support
video.
the channel further, you can click the link in the description to become a patron. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, that's in the video, man. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to your